Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Adriana Monet and I am the owner and creator of Monet. So in today's video, we're going to be going over all the supplies you need to make a candle. So regardless if you're making it at home as a DIY or if you're trying to start a candle business, all these products are essential. All right, so the first products that I want to mention are your pouring pot. So right here, I have a bigger pouring pot. I'm not sure how big, I'll have to put it on the screen, how big this actually is. And then I have a smaller one. So this is essentially what you're gonna put your wax in to melt the wax. So you definitely need a pouring pot regardless of the size. If you're just beginning and you plan on making 1 to 2 candles at a time, or even 1 candle at a time, this smaller one is perfect and it's really easy to work with. And so with the pouring pot, and honestly with all of these supplies I'm discussing, you can pretty much get everything on Amazon or your local candle supplier if you have one local, or you can always order it online from a candle supplier. But I believe I got both of these. This one for sure is on Amazon, and this one I believe I may have got it from a candle supplier. So the next thing you're gonna need is a pot. So if you're gonna be making a candle, most likely you're gonna be starting off doing the double boiler method. If you haven't heard of the double boiler method, it's essentially when you just boil some water in a pot and you take the pouring pot and you're gonna put it on top of the boiling water, and essentially that's how you'll melt your wax on the inside. You can use any old pot you have around the house. If you want to, you can buy a new pot, but I would definitely only use the pot for candle making. I wouldn't use it for cooking as well, because it does leave some like wax residue around the pot, so you definitely want one just for candle making. So the next item we're going to be talking about is a thermometer, and I just have this one. It's a basic like cooking thermometer. You're going to be using the thermometer to measure the temperature of the wax. Temperature is a very important variable when it comes to candle making, so you definitely want to get a thermometer. I got this on Amazon. I've been through probably about 5 different thermometers, and I've gotten them all on Amazon. You can get them for under $10, some of them. I think this one may have been a little bit more because I wanted to get a nicer one, because like I said, I've been through 5 of them. So this one may have been a little bit more. I'll leave the link to it in the description box, but you definitely need a thermometer. There's no way around it. You have to get one. So the next product I'm going to mention is a scale. You definitely need a scale when you're making candles. So I just have a basic kind of like a kitchen scale, and this one is really cool. It has, you definitely want one with a tare option, and I feel like all of them have a tare option, not sure. And then it has different units. So this one goes grams, milliliters, ounces, fluid ounces, and it works for me. I really enjoy this one, so I'll definitely leave it in the description box. So yeah, you're definitely going to want a scale to measure out the wax and the fragrance oil. So next you're going to need something to measure your fragrance oil in, and I like to use these little silicone measuring cups. It does come with the kind of like the measurements on the side, but I use the scale to weigh it. You always want to weigh your fragrance oil. So I just get these on Amazon. I think you get like 3 for under $10. They're really easy to clean, really easy to use. I just use alcohol to clean them out between different fragrances. And yeah, I do need to invest in some bigger ones, but these are really good to start off with. So you don't have to use these specific ones. You can use kind of anything. I know some people like to use glass. I know some people use the little, kind of like the little Dixie cups to measure it. But you don't want to use anything plastic because your fragrance oil will eat through that. So try not to use plastic, but these silicone ones work great. So I definitely recommend these, and I'll leave the link in the description. So next you're gonna need something to stir your wax and your fragrance oil with. So I use these bamboo skewers. You can get them from the Dollar Tree. You get a pack of 100. These work great. They're so easy to use, and they're from the Dollar Tree, so they're super cheap. And I like it because you can just use it. You can switch them out between fragrances, but I found that using the same one for multiple fragrances, like it doesn't make a big difference. So these are super easy, and you don't have to worry about cleaning them because you can just throw it away. I also have another item from the Dollar Tree, this spatula that I use to stir. I use this sometimes, but I always gravitate more towards these just because they're so easy. You don't have to worry about cleaning them. So yeah, but this is a really good option as well. I know some people use knives. You can use, there's a bunch of things you can use. Just you need something to stir with. Something to stir the fragrance oil and the wax together. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about are wig stickers. So essentially these are used to, you have your wick and you want to stick it to the bottom of your vessel or your jar. So you can use these, and you peel it off and they're sticky on both sides to stick to your wick and stick it to the jar, if that makes sense. You can also use a hot glue gun. I know a lot of people do that. I feel like these are just easy and really convenient. And I got these, I want to say I'm pretty sure I got these on Amazon. And it's $240 in here, and I know it was under $10. So the next thing you're gonna need is wig holders or something to hold the wig with. And so I like to use these. These are basically made to hold the wig, and I'm gonna show you in a second how to use them. And then also another good option are clothespins. You can get a pack of these from the Dollar Tree, which I believe is where I got these. These work really well. And I'm just gonna show you what I mean by hold the wig. So I have this jar right here that's already wicked. When your candle is curing, so after you pour the wax into the candle, you're gonna need this wick to stay up straight like this, so your wick isn't to the side as your candle hardens, if that makes sense. So basically how you use like the silver ones is it has 3 different holes, and it kind of just depends on your jar. And you can kind of just put it through that hole and set it on there, and it works really well with these glasses. And you can just kind of put it to the side, so as your candle is curing, your wick is gonna stand up straight, if that makes sense. So these are really good. Another option are clothespins. They don't work with this jar because they're too small for the diameter of this jar, but I'm not gonna get it, I don't feel like getting it. But I have other jars where these work really well. I actually prefer to use these when I'm using that jar. So it just depends on your jar, but you will need something to hold your wick with. That is an essential. And like I said, you can get these at the Dollar Tree, and these, I think I got these on Amazon. All right, so the next thing, or I should say 2 things that you need, is going to be alcohol, and then you're going to need paper towels. So I use alcohol to clean just about anything. I use it to clean my scale when it gets a mess. I use it to clean out my little silicone cups. I use it to clean out my pouring pitchers. Alcohol works great. It's so easy. And then obviously paper towels to wipe it up. You're going to go through so many paper towels. I know some people, they use old rags and different stuff like that, but honestly I just buy the cheapest ones at Walmart. They're like 50 cents a roll. Probably can find them cheaper somewhere else if I buy it in bulk, which I should do. But you're gonna go through so many paper towels just cleaning up wax you're gonna go through a lot. So you definitely need paper towels and alcohol to clean it. But I just got this from the Dollar Tree, and I just get the cheapest paper towels I can find, and a bunch of them, because you're gonna need so many paper towels. Those are mostly all of the essentials you need to make a candle. I'm just gonna mention a few other things that are not necessarily essentials, but they're gonna be really helpful to have. All right, so one thing that's gonna be very helpful to have is a wig trimmer. I don't remember if I got this on Amazon. I really don't know where I got this from, but I know they do sell them on Amazon, and a lot of candle suppliers also sell them. But a wig trimmer essentially is where you trim your wig. Yes, you can use scissors, you can use nail clippers, there's so many other things you can use. I just think this is easy to use. And so when I say trim your wick, so this obviously is too long. You're not gonna light a candle with a wick this long, so you just use it boom, cut it. I'm not gonna actually cut it. And I like the shape of it because it can get down low in the candle, which is harder to do with scissors. I've never used nail clippers, but I know a lot of people do. So if you want to save money, you can definitely use that. But a wig trimmer would be helpful. So another thing that will be very helpful to have is a spray bottle. To put the alcohol in. It makes it so much easier. I wasted so much alcohol trying to just pour a little bit of alcohol and wipe it up. I always pour too much. So a spray bottle is just so easy. I just use one of my old room spray bottles. These are the bottles I use for my room spray. So I just put alcohol in it and use it for that. But you can get a spray bottle anywhere at the Dollar Tree, Walmart. You can order one on Amazon. Doesn't matter. A lot of people, you may already have a spray bottle at home laying around. Use that. So spray bottle, super easy. I love it. So next thing that I'm going to mention are gloves. You're definitely going to want to use gloves, depending really with any wax, because you're going to be using fragrance oil. Like, you don't want all that, especially I have long nails, or they're not super long, but I have nails, so wax can easily get through, like, inside my nail. Actually, my nail tech gave me these gloves because I mentioned I needed some. But gloves, you can get them anywhere. Amazon, Walmart, the Dollar Tree probably. So yeah, gloves, you're definitely going to have these on hand. Not a necessity, but they will come in hand. So another thing that's super helpful to have are labels. And when I say labels, I don't mean your actual labels you're going to use to label your candles with when you sell them. I mean labels when you're testing them. So I just get this. These are, it's a 120 pack I got from the Dollar Tree. And they're just little sticker labels. And I literally just write what I'm testing. So if you're making a candle and you're testing out a new fragrance oil, you're testing out a different wig, you're testing out a different wax, you're going to want to write down everything. And so these are just easy to write it down and stick it to the actual jar that you're using. You don't have to go out and buy labels. Like, starting off, I think my first candle I ever made, I just wrote it on paper and taped it to the jar. But it's just easy. They look a little bit better. And you get 120 for $1. Like, they come in hand. And I use these all around the house. I use these for any and everything. If you're organizing your candle supplies, these are really good if you want stuff labeled. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to get some labels. All right, so the last thing I want to mention, I wasn't sure if I wanted to mention this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it because I have it right here, is a heat gun. So depending what wax you're working with, starting off, I started with soy wax. And one thing about soy is the tops of the candles, they don't always look that pretty. So a heat gun is going to save your life when it comes to having like an aesthetic, nice, smooth top. I switched to coconut soy, and that's what I've been using lately, and I haven't had that problem, luckily. So essentially how you would use the heat gun is, say this is a candle that's already cured and everything, and the top isn't smooth like you want it to be. You can use the heat gun to just heat up the wax, just the wax at the top, and then that way it'll melt again, and hopefully you'll get that smooth top you're looking for. If you want more tips, you can kind of just YouTube a video how to use a heat gun to fix a candle. But working with soy, you're definitely going to want to just have this on hand. But also another reason I wanted to mention it, I like to use this to clean my pouring pitcher. So if there's hardened like wax in the pouring pitcher, I just use this to melt the wax, and then that way I can just wipe it out. So it makes it really easy. So like I said, not really essential, but if you're definitely going to be if you're going to be making candles, you're probably going to end up purchasing this along the way. So yeah. Alright guys, sorry if there's kind of a change in the lighting. I had to turn the lights on because the sun is going down. But that is all of the products you need to make a candle. Other candle makers, if there's anything that I forgot to mention, please leave it in the comments below so we can help new candle makers. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram. I'm going to leave it in the description box below. And check out my Etsy shop. It is where I sell my wax melts and my room sprays and soon to be candles as well. So be sure to check it out. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.